Wow. 2 years? It really has been a long time since our last update to the public. The mask served me well. I needed it at the time, but now, it's a disservice. I think it's time I do what I do best, and get back to business. Let me tell you about RPGStuck. Hello RPGStuck, and hello to the public. This is Jerry, your favorite rodent and potential beast from the furthest ring. I want to share with you what we've been doing in our community for the past couple of years. In case you forgot, RPGStuck is a fan-made Homestuck tabletop game that normally takes place within the setting of Spurb, a game between worlds where teenagers are selected to be gods of a new universe. On April 1st, 2020, we released our 3rd edition to the public and announced it 12 days later on April 13th. This year, we've done something very similar, but there's a lot to cover in the gap between. The 3rd edition was made to address issues in the system that required an uprooting of things we took for granted. We introduced methods of advancement for non-combat focused playstyles such as gambits and story beat experience. We reduced the number of levels to 20 and the stat cap to 20 in order to allow for more flexible builds without sacrificing combat power. That's where we left off. Here's what happened next. On November 9th, 2020, we consolidated the individual document changelogs into a master changelog, publicly visible in the 3rd edition directory, where all past changes to the 3rd edition can be browsed through. After 7 months of public testing, starting with our beta edition being released to the public to wonderful acclaim, we released a new system for god tier powers designed to give the player both story and combat-driven bonuses that synergize with their build and their intended role in the story their Sky and Maestro is weaving. An example of a story-driven power is a Flatus, where a player spends an aspect point to ask a question about the setting, and receive a response from the power of their aspect. In practice, a Hope player may ask their aspect what someone truly believes in. But for the more miraculous feats, there's Defy, a representation of a player pushing themselves to their limits. A Light player can create an impenetrable disguise or falsehood, or a Void player can materialize or dematerialize objects, including hiding entire planets. Be careful though, repeated use of Defy accumulates paradox. Too much paradox, and your character's fate is left entirely in the hands of your Sky and Maestro. Perhaps the most obvious change at first glance is the addition of new terminology throughout the book. We made these changes, such as introducing the term Session Master or Sky and Maestro, to emphasize that RPGStuck is a separate system from our original inspirations. We're synthesizing something new in the field of tabletop. The answers that lie in other books will not be found here. Now, we have our own. What's a Sky and Maestro? Well, we can't use that term that involves masters of dungeons anymore because we've evolved past that. We often compared the runner of the game to Skya, the creative force at the center of the Inciposphere that decides the player's titles, lands, dream moons, and path to power, to further unleash your creativity, and now made possible by our step into the unknown. Detaching from our original source material and making no more promises based on it, we have licensed RPGStuck's 3rd edition under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license, which allows you to change the game to your liking and release it to the public, as long as you credit RPGStuck, make it available for free, and share your changes and additions under the same license so others may build on your work as well. With this change, we hope to give back to the broader Homestuck community, as its energy is what created us in the first place, and we want to see your new creation. Some alternate racials, constant path upgrades, and even some new paths later, and we've filled out a framework of a new edition, even though in beta, that is more expansive than our vision for the last. However, as the events of April 1st, 2022 prove, we're not done just yet. Alchemy is a representation of creation within Homestuck, being the act of merging the properties of 2 separate objects, both physical and metaphysical, into a single object to create powerful weapons, wacky artifacts, or timeline-crossing mystical heirlooms. Alchemy has always been a critical point in every session, and regretfully, past editions of RPGStuck didn't provide enough support to new game runners who may not know how to make effective, creative, and fun items to use within our mechanics, or veterans who want to have a strong base to rely on in order to keep themselves consistent between their players. After breaking down the structure of the game and what potential session masters want out of Alchemy, we have created a system that will meet everyone's wants and needs. The new RPGStuck Alchemy system is based around tags. Each effect in our list of over 150 comes with tags to label the paths, specify, or psionics it will synergize with in order to directly add to a player's build. They're labeled with tiers to help a session master determine an effect's relative power level at some point in the session. Effects can be used to enhance a player's weapon, armor, or create a new item with an entirely new story-based use, such as hiding amongst the scenery, hacking into an enemy's computer, or scanning someone to see if they're being influenced by mind control psionics. But it would be remiss of me to stop there. We released 2.5e Sapphire, a living version of our second edition, brought back by nostalgia and popular support that will be continually balanced and updated by our development team. To clarify, this will exist in parallel with 3e, and the main path forward will lie with the latter. But for those who want a solely combat-focused, balanced experience with 3e's armor system, 2.5e is the addition for you. Thank you for listening. The future is impossible to predict. We have a development roadmap, and we're continuing to improve existing subsystems such as Fraymotifs and house building, but the primary guide of our development has always been your thoughts and feedback. So what are you waiting for? It's your adventure.